Yes, good afternoon. It's very good afternoon to all of you. Already in our discussions, first chapter already over. Now we have to start with the second chapter. Second chapter name is what is that, ma? Return of income. Sir, already we know something about return of income in our CMA inter level itself. We know some points about the return of income, some concepts relating to return of income in intermediate level itself. But now we have to start this discussion from scratch. The reason nothing but every attempt they are trying to give the 4-mark question or one MCQ pakka. So on an average, I will take 5 hours for this chapter, including MCQs and problematic topic also. But day before examination, you have to complete this entire things. Yes, within 30 minutes. Yes, within 30 minutes. Day before exam, you have to allocate for this chapter 30 minutes or less than 30 minutes only. Okay. So coming to the discussion, first I want to give this some introduction relating to yes, return of income chapter. I think in first chapter itself, you know, golden rule as well as what ma general rule. If any income earned during the previous year, on that income, yes, we are required to pay the tax in which year ma? Assessment year. If you are earn any income during the previous year, on that income you are required to pay the tax in which year ma? Assessment year. I think in the first chapter, you know, this assessment year and previous year are defined in financial year point of view or calendar years ma? Financial year. So that means it should be started from the 1st April, ended with the what ma? 31st March. So what is the reason why they are postponing the payment of tax to the next financial year? That is only assessment year. I think in the first chapter itself, you know the reason. What is the reason, ma? So that means how we can finalize exactly earned income last day of the financial year or after the completion of that financial year only exact income we can know. So that's why you can pay the tax in the next year. Yes, but how to pay the tax to the government? By way of filing the S1 statement, that statement only known as what? Return of income. Sir, can I pay the tax by orally? No. So one statement you need to file with the government. In that statement, you need to declare that all the details about your income also. That statement only known as what ma? Return of income. So, but sir, during that assessment year, you are required to pay the tax. That's okay. But is there any specific due dates for filing of return of income or due dates are there for the payment of tax? Yes. What are the due dates, ma? How many due dates are there? 3. 31st July, 31st October, 30th November. Sir, these 3 due dates are there, but in different situations, the different due dates are applicable for the SSC. In exam, if they are asking about the due dates, you have to write these 3 due dates only. But now in practical cases, so due date extended to which date? September month. So that is not required for your examination. So if they are asking the due date 31st 7, 31st October, 30th 11, these 3 due dates only you have to remember. Okay, sir. So generally you are only said that return of income means it is a statement. So general example I want to tell you, sir, how it will be presented. So first, how many heads of income we have, ma? 5. These 5 heads of income related details you have to furnish. For this, we have to do the 2 adjustments, ma. Clubbing, set off. Clubbing provisions effect. What is that clubbing provisions effect, ma? Always increasing the total income. Set off provisions related, ma? Decrease. Finally, you will get a gross total income. From that gross total income, you can reduce the chapter 6A deduction. Then you will get total income, sir. This is only the total income I earned during the previous year. On that, please calculate the tax. So tax components means, first of all, income tax. For this we have to add what ma? Surcharge. For these two things you have to add what? Health and education cess. So this is only the tax liability ultimately we need to pay. But during the previous year itself, you are required to pay the two types of taxes. One is an TDS and TCS, second one is an advance tax. So in future I will tell you in and out about the two concepts. During the previous year itself, you are required to pay the TDS, TCS, advance tax. Sir, again I need to pay these two type of taxes? No. Example, case 1 you can take. How much tax liability you got? 1 lakh. But already during the previous year in the form of TDS, TCS, advance tax, how much altogether we paid? 60,000. Then balance 40,000 you are required to pay. So what is the tax liability we got in second case? Please check it out and tell me. 1 lakh. But already how much amount of TDS and TCS we paid during the previous year? 1,20,000. So that's why here you can get the refund also. Sir, by way of filing the return of income, you can pay the tax or you can get the refund also. So now this is a general format I am saying. Sir, if any person asking the definition of return of income, yes, this is only the definition. Return of income is a format. So can you tell me whether it is a format or not? In this format, SSC can declare the details about first one. Yes, what is that first one? Total income. Sir, in this format, can you get the details about the total income? Yes. Second detail, yes, you will get the tax liability also. Yes, can you tell me? Yes. So it is a format in which SSC will declare the total income and tax liability. These forms only known as what? ITR forms. I think in recent situations, the many persons are sharing the status ITR 1 and ITR S2 opened, ITR 4 and 3 are not at all opened. The many statuses you can see, these are only called as what? ITR forms. In future, we can discuss the how many ITR forms also there. These are all the things we can discuss now, discuss in future. But these formats are prescribed by whom? CBDT. Full form of CBDT? Central Board of Direct Taxes. Super. Now, so this is a general discussion, but please remember 3 due dates: 31st 7, 31st October, 30th November. So which due date is applicable for which type of SSCs? These are all the things we can discuss detailed manner in after half an hour time. So now, so generally next page, SSC is responsibility is SSC is responsible for filing of what? Return of income. So section 139 always dealing with the filing of return of income. Sir, here two types of return of incomes are there. One is an mandatory return. Second one is called as what? Voluntary return. What do you mean by the mandatory return? So as per the Income Tax Act 1961, you are liable to file the return of income. You are liable to file the return of income. That's why that is a mandatorily you need to file the return. Second one, voluntarily means, yes, even though you don't have any income, but safe side you can file the return of incomes also. That is normally what? Voluntary return. So example, student also can file the return of income. If you having that valid PAN number, he can file the return of income without earning any amount also. So, but one business person is there, he is doing that one business and he having some income. So mandatorily he is required to file the return of income. Two types, any type of return also, who required to file SSC. Sir, after filing the return of income, it will reach it to whom? Assessing officer. Nothing but he is one officer in the income tax department. Now, what is the responsibility of the assessing officer? Whether SSC filed the correct return of income or incorrect return of income, that needs to be verified by the whom? Assessing officer. That verification procedure only known as assessment procedure. That verification procedure only known as what, ma? Assessment procedure. So now you have to tell the responsibility of AO is what, ra? Filing of return of income. What is the responsibility of an SSE is what, ma? Return of income filing. AO responsibility is what, ma? Assessment completion. Now, how many types of assessments are there, ma? Just read it out. Just read it out. 143 subsection 1. What is the name, ma? Summary assessment. 143 3. What is that, ma? Scrutiny assessment. 144 best judgment assessment. 147 income escapement assessment procedure. So now why I am writing these two things simultaneously, first I will tell you. In our discussion of a return of income chapter, we need to read this chapter from the point of view of whom? SSC. So this chapter totally we need to read from the point of view of SSC only. So next chapter is assessment procedure chapter. Always we need to read this read the next chapter in the point of view of whom? AO. So which one is an first activity, ma? Which one is an first activity, ma? Filing of return of income by the SSC. After that, what is the subsequent activity? Assessing officer needs to conduct the what, ma? Assessment. Assessing officer needs to conduct the what, ma? Assessment. Are you clear, right? Sir, then what about these section numbers, sir? Don't think about these section numbers. These are only the main concepts in the assessment procedures chapter. These are only the main concepts in the what, assessment procedures chapter. So as of now, just we discuss at the background only. So how many due dates are there? What is the return of income format? What is the definition of return of income? Next, so these formats are also known as what, ma? ITR forms. Who are prescribed these ITR forms, ma? CBDT. From whose point of view we have to read this chapter? SSE point of view. After completion of filing of return of income by the SSE, that the return of income needs to be verified by whom? AO. That verification procedures only known as what? Assessment procedures. Now, take a pen, take a notes, ma. You have to write it down. These only one page of the discussion. Very important. Now, so very important, sir. Mostly we can get the questions from this 139 subsection 1 only. Give the heading and the top of the page. 139 subsection 1, filing of return of income. 139 subsection 1, what is that, ma? Filing of return of income. So now we are going to discuss who are required to file the return of income. So already we discussed the mandatory return is there. Who are required to file the return of income mandatorily we can discuss first. After few minutes, we can start our discussion with the when they are required to file the return. So what are the due dates when they are required to file the what, ma? Return. First, we are already started the discussion who required to file the return of income. That is only simply we can call it as an what ma mandatorily. These are all the persons are required to file the return of income in which year my assessment year or previous year assessment year. So first listen. I will give you time to copy also. Listen first. Company, partnership firm, including LLP. These two entities are mandatorily required to file the return of income irrespective of size, irrespective of turnover, irrespective of profit or loss. Sir, even though you have a loss also, if you have a profit also, your turnover 0 or your turnover is 100 crores, your company volume is low, so branches are not there. These are all are irrelevant. If you are incorporating a company or if you are started a partnership firm or LLP, every year they are required to file the return of income mandatorily. Which of the SSEs are? Company, partnership firm, including LLP. First copy the. So please divide this chart into the 4 parts. So we need to write these 4. Yes, you can see here. So all the things you have to manage. That's why first point, yes, what is that? Company, partnership firm or LLP. In your exam, you have to write irrespective of the turnover, irrespective of the size, irrespective of the what? Profit or loss. Now, second, I'm starting with the any other SSC. Sir, any other SSC means whom? Individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Who are individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Clear? Listen, no need to copy. Income from salaries. Just I am given. Income from salaries 0. Income from house property 20,000. PGBP yes ma 1 lakh. PGBP how much ma 1 lakh. So example I am going with a Mr. X who is an individual. So that too resident and having the 59 years of age is following the old regime also. What is the basic exemption limit? 2,50,000. No. Sir, in capital gain, having the one long-term capital gain income, so that is in 3 lakhs. This is a gross long-term capital gain. Gross long-term capital gain how much? 3 lakh. Minus section 54 exemption also there. So in capital gain chapter, I will tell you what are the exemptions under 54 series also. So entire 3 lakh is exempt. How much exempt ma? Entire 3 lakh. So now capital gain amount, how much I need to substitute ma? 0. So like in income from other source also 5,000 amount is there. Total, this is only called as what ma? Gross total income. Can you tell me what is that gross total income we have here? Ma? Just I want to write the salary is also 2,50,000. Total ma? Ma? 3 lakh 70 no. minus chapter 6A deductions minus chapter 6A deductions. Exactly, you're having the 3,75,000 chapter 6A deductions also. Finally, what is the total income? If I'm asking a question whether he required to pay any tax, no. Now I'm asking a same question. Will he required to pay any tax? No, because total income 0, no need to pay any tax. Now my question is whether this fellow is required to file return of income. Yes, why? 0 total income. Now I will tell you the point. You no need to check the directly total income. Please check. Okay, if you are starting with the total income before giving the effect of chapter 6A deduction, before giving the effect of what section 54 series exemptions. So can you tell me what is a total income? Generally 0. But total income before giving the effect of chapter 6A deductions, before giving the effect of 54 series exemptions, can you tell me how much amount it will be? 6 lakh? So definitely you are required to file the return of income, because this is an more than the basic exemption limit. Many students are thinking that, so we need to compare with the total income. Wrong, total income before giving the effect of two things. What are the two things, Chapter 6A deduction and section 54 series exemptions. Sir, next, no sir, I want to start from the gross total income, sir. So now, if you want to check with the gross total income, how much, 3,75,000. But you need to check the gross total income before giving the effect of what, 54 series exemptions. How much it will be? 6,75,000. Sir, in exam, maybe they can, start from the total income. If you want to check the total income before claiming the chapter 6A reduction, before claiming the section 54 series exemptions. If the sentence is starting from the gross total income before section 54 series exemptions only, you need to check. Sir, he's not required to pay the tax. I know, because total income itself, how much, 0. But he is required to file return of income. So shall we start the discussion, This is only any other SSC when he required to file the return of income. Individual HF, AOP, BOI, AJP. So here sentence starting from the gross total income. Before giving the effect of what we have to check, before giving the section 54 series exemption, if that gross total income exceeds the basic exemption limit, then these fellows are required to file the return. Sir, here they are starting the sentence from the total income. Now can you tell me, before giving the effect of two things, one is chapter 6A reduction, second one is what, 54 series exemption. If that exceeds the basic exemption limit, and these are persons are required to file the return of income. Sir, in exam, how they are asking, please check. If they are asking from the total income point of view, total income before giving the effect of what, two things. What are the two things? Chapter 6A reduction, section 54 series exemption. If they are asking from the gross total income only before giving the effect of what, 54 series exemptions, if that exceeds the basic exemption limit, that persons are required to file the return of income. So this point is applicable for whom? Individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Because that persons only having the basic exemption limit. These are only persons having the basic exemption limit. That's why we are also comparing these points with the Basic exemption limit. Please write these 2 points ma first. Very important. Maybe you cannot expect this type of questions in that exam. They are given for 7 to 8 marks. ఎవరికన్నా నిద్ర వస్తే లేచి నించోండి. నో ప్రాబ్లం. బయట కాసేపు ఒకసారి రౌండ్ వేసి రండి వెళ్ళి, నిద్ర వస్తే. నిద్రపోవద్దు, నేను అందరినీ చూస్తూనే ఉంటాను. ఒక రౌండ్ అలా కిందకి వెళ్ళండి, పర్లేదు. లేకపోతే ఆ స్టాఫ్ ఉంటారు, కాసేపు అలా కూర్చోనండి బయటికి వెళ్ళి, ఏం కాదు, నథింగ్ రాంగ్. నిద్ర అయితే పోవద్దు. నరసింహుడి శశి మార్నింగ్ వచ్చావా? క్లాస్ అయిపోయాక ఒకసారి మాట్లాడు, నాతో మాట్లాడరా. క్లాస్ అయిపోయాక నాతో మాట్లాడు, ఓకేనా? నువ్వు ముందే వచ్చావు, క్లాస్ అయిపోయాక నాతో మాట్లాడు. ఆర్ యు అండర్స్టూడ్ ద 2 points మా? ఇన్ ఎనీ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ దే కెన్ ఆస్క్. నౌ థర్డ్ పాయింట్ ఏంటన్నా? Third point, ma. Third point is applicable for ROR. Meaning of ROR, ma? Resident and ordinary resident. Generally, this resident and ordinary resident is not required to file the return of income because of the what, ma? This second point. So if you verified the gross total income before claiming the 54 series exemption, or if you verified the total income before claiming the what, ma? Chapter 6A deduction and 54 series exemption, that income is less than basic exemption limit. That's why it's not required to file the return of income. But this resident and ordinary resident having one asset in outside India, or he having one bank account in where, ma? Outside India. Sir, in India, yes sir, I am not at all doing anything, ra. My total income is 0. So I am not required to file the return of income. But I haven't one asset in where, ma? Outside India. Example, in Sri Lanka, I haven't one house. For that house, maybe I am acting as a beneficiary or what, ma? Beneficial owner. So in Sri Lanka, I haven't one house. For that house, maybe I am a beneficiary or beneficial owner. But from that house also, I am earning 0 income only. Do I need to file the return of income? Yes. Do I need to file the return of income? Yes. Remember one thing, ma. If you haven't any asset in outside India, irrespective of the income, you are required to file the return of income. Now your question is, sir, what do you mean by the beneficiary and what do you mean by the beneficial owner? What do you mean by the beneficiary? What do you mean by the beneficial owner? For acquiring any asset, who are paying the consideration or who are already paid the consideration, that fellow only called as what, ma? Beneficial owner. In USA, one asset purchased by whom, ma? Father. Who paid the consideration? Father. Father is known as what, ra? Beneficial owner. So now some rental income receiving from such house, that rental income or that benefits derived from that property is received by the son. Now son is called as what, ra? Beneficiary. who are paying the consideration, beneficial owner, who are receiving the benefits, beneficiary. Now, sir, who is required to file ma? Either beneficiary or beneficial owner. Example, yes ma, father filed a return of income with respect to this house. Son not required. Or son already filed the return of income with respect to this house. Now father not required. So what is the conjunction between these two ma? Or either beneficiary filed also okay, or beneficial owner filed also okay. Clear ma up to now? Sir, one student asked the doubt in the last session, sir. In foreign, we have one house, but from that house, income is 0. Still, you are required to file the return of income. Here, they are not putting any condition with respect to the income. If you have any asset in outside India, that's enough. If you are a beneficiary, you can file, or beneficial owner also needs to file. Any one of these persons are required to mention in their return of income with respect to this house. Second, sir, in foreign, if you have any bank account, in foreign, if you have any bank account, so then you are required to file the return of income. Sir, for that bank account, if you haven't signing authority, meaning at the time of withdrawal or at the time of deposit, you only needs to do the signature. So that's why you are required to file the return of income. Example, Swiss bank accounts or any foreign, sorry, in any foreign country, if you haven't bank accounts, mandatorily you are required to file the return of income. Sir, in that bank account, no deposits are no deposit transactions are there, no withdrawal transactions are there. That is an irrelevant. You are already having that which account ma? Outside India, you have a bank account. That's why you are required to file the return of income. Clear ma? Sir, shall we start one question with respect to this third point ma? Please open the work. Okay, you can write after some time also, no problem. So please open the workbook. Question number 4. Question number 4, page number 10. Question number 4, page number 10. Sir, in the June 2023 examinations, sorry, December 2023, they are asking this fourth question for 8 marks. They are asking this fourth question for 8 marks. Now you can decide whether it is worth or not. Okay. With the reasons, yes, you have to mention the reasons also. Whether the return of income must be filed in the following cases or not. First case, yes, Raj 70 years means what? Senior citizen is a resident and ordinary resident. He owns one house property in Dubai, which he purchased on which year ma? 2016-17, and is also having one bank account in where ma? Dubai. Now which point you need to mention ma? Third point. He is a resident and ordinary resident. He having that one asset in outside India. So can you tell me he is only purchased, means he is a beneficiary or beneficial owner? Beneficial owner. Next, having that bank account also outside India. So both the conditions are satisfied. Now, but coming to the point, his total income how much? 2 lakh. Generally, what is the basic exemption limit for him? 3 lakh. If you follow that old regime also 3 lakh. If you follow the new regime also 3 lakh. Okay. Sir, if you don't know that point, that is special point. So, this point I want to call as an what ma? Special point. If you don't know this point, what you will write it as an answer? Not required to file. because his total income itself below the what ma basic exemption limit. So this income consists of house property and bank interest. But what is that exact final answer ma? He is required to file the return of income because he having the bank account outside India and he having the one asset outside India. For that asset he is in. I don't want to read this content ma. So spare 1 or 2 minutes time and read that entire content. Take your own time. So nothing but what ma? They are asked, they are given the total theory again, and last they are written the what ma? Conclusion. So clearly I mentioned in this case he is an beneficial owner. So that's why he is required to file the return of income. Clear ma? Now proceed with the further discussion. Sir, I want to call this third point as an yes special case. Yes, special case. Now, fourth point, special transactions. So, allocate 5 minutes for the screen seeing only. Enough, you can get an enough clarity over these points. Ma. Special transactions. Remember, irrespective of the income, if you are entered into these 7 transactions, you are required to file the return of income. How many transactions ma? 7. So first you have to remember one by one. Yes, sir, I have some current accounts. So with the different banks. So SBI one current account, IDFC one current, S Bank one current account. Like I have different current accounts. In that current accounts during the previous year, aggregatedly, if you are depositing more than how much amount ma? 1 crore, you are required to file the return of income. So students know about the deposits in current account, but in exam they can get confusion with the limit. What is the limit? 1 crore. Exceeds or equal? Exceeds. Second point, they are talking about the yes ma deposits in which account ma? Savings account. Sir, example, who can get the current accounts ma? Business persons or professional persons can get the current accounts. So that volume of the deposits also can be high. That's why they are fixing the 1 crore. Savings account can be maintained by the small scale level of income peoples. So that's why the limit also will be here how much ma? 50 lakh. But here the equation will be the what ma? Exceeds or equal. Example, sir, savings account means one bank account or aggregate all bank accounts we need to check. Aggregate all bank accounts. Lifetime or during the previous year? During the previous year. During the previous year, if your deposits in your multiple savings account altogether exceeds or equal to 50 lakh, you are required to file the what ma? Return of income. Next. So, foreign travel expenditure. Foreign travel expenditure exceeds how much? 2 lakh. Sir, now I have a doubt. Sir, SSC purpose or along with the family member purpose? SSC or along with the Babu, resident and ordinary resident generally who is not required to file the return of income under second case. If you having these things, he required to file. So generally resident and ordinary resident is not required to file the return of income because his total income is below the what ma basic exemption limit. But if you're having that asset in outside India, if you're having the bank account in outside India, for that asset he is a beneficiary or beneficial owner. For that bank account, if you're having the signing authority, then he is required to file the return of income. Generally, he is not required. But because of the special case, he required to file the what ma return of income. Now, remember foreign travel expenditure for SSC and SSC family members. Totally all together during the previous year, if that exceeds how much ma? Sir, foreign travel ma, in domestic na, yes, you can incur how much amount you want, yes, you can incur, no problem. Next, I have a profession, okay. If that gross receipts of the profession exceeds how much ma? 10 lakh. I haven't business turnover exceeds how much ma? 60 lakh. Sir, I don't want to check your basic exemption limit, incomes, etc. If you are entered into this type of transactions, mandatorily you are required to file the return of income. If I am doing the profession, please check the gross receipts of the previous year. If that exceeds how much ma? 10 lakh. If you have in the business, turnover of that business, if exceeds how much ma? 60 lakh. So now electricity. What is that ma? Electricity. Sir, they are putting the restriction with respect to the electricity also. If you have consumed that electricity more than 1 lakh during the previous year, then you are also required to file the return of income. Their assumption, if you are using that more than 1 lakh electricity, maybe you are producing any product inside the house or inside the any factory also. That's why, irrespective of the income, if these transactions are occurred, then you are required to file the return of income. Now, last point important. What is that ma? 7th point. I will give an time to copy also. Listen first. I am doing the job in the Infosys example. During that entire previous year, in my salary, that deducted the 26,000 TDS. How much TDS ma? 26,000. That is more than or equal to how much ma? 25,000. Now I am required to file the return of income. In my hands, how much TDS they are deducted ma? 26. That is more than or equal to what ma? 25,000. That's why I am required to file the return of income. Sir, if I am a senior citizen, that limit will be increased to how much ma? 50,000. That limit will be increased to what ma? 50,000. Sir, in this entire 7 special transaction, in which cases we have a limit more than or equal to ma? One is an TDS, TCS. Second one is what ma? Savings. The remaining all are what ma? More than. So now I am asking I will ask the transaction. You need to say the limit along with the equation. Exceeds or equal also. Deposits in current account more than 1 crore. Deposits in savings account more than or equal to 50 lakh. Electricity expenses 1 lakh. More than 1 lakh. Foreign travel expenditure more than. Gross receipts of a profession more than 10 lakh. Turnover of the business more than 60 lakh. In my hands, TDS, TCS are already deducted. How much limit I need to check for filing of return? More than or equal to 25,000. If the person is a senior citizen, more than 50,000. More than or equal to 50,000. Now, just we can check the another part of the question. Then after we can write the notes also. Very important. So, 4th question B. Read that question ma. Radha, Indian resident, receives 30,000 per month rental income from her residential house property. Radha purchased a car. Sir, I don't know. Um, I can feel only one thing even after completion of exam or during the coaching or during the preparation also. CMA examination papers are for last two attempts are increasing the paper levels drastically. Before that means two attempts before, all the papers are very easy, including DT also. The reason is nothing but they will give that answer also in the question itself. Example, this is only, I will tell you. Sir, what is that income you can calculate? Every month 30,000 means how much ma? So this is an GAV is an 3,60,000. Rental income itself how much ma? 3,60,000. I think GAV minus 30% of what ma? Okay, municipal tax is not there. That's why GAV only called as what ma? NAV. So from that NAV, please reduce 30% of the ESMA. Finally, what is that income from house property? 2 lakh, 2,52,000. Next month, that point you need to set aside. After that, they are given. She purchased the car worth 28 lakh. That is an ex showroom price. Not on road price, ma. Ex showroom price is how much, ma? 28. Sir, you have to remember one TDS and TCS provision here. If you purchased any motor vehicle, that value of that vehicle exceeds 10 lakh and that sale price, they will collect the what ma? 1%. 1% TCS. So now please tell me the TCS amount ma? 20? Sir, here they are mentioned any age limit of the Radha? No. What is my basic assumption here? Less than 60 years. So now the TDS and TCS if exceeds are equal to 25,000, now she is required to file the what ma? Return of income. She paid how much amount of TCS ma? 28,000. That is more than 25,000. So now if student written that answer based on this point, answer correct, but they will not allocate the full marks. They are expecting this point also as a forming part of what ma? Answer. Sir, example, they are not mentioned anything ma. If you are assuming, yes, she is following the default tax regime. Basic exemption limit is how much ma? 3 lakh. If she following the old regime, what is the basic exemption limit? 2,52,000. So that's why it is not a criteria to write the answer exactly. What is the criteria they are expecting ma? Special transaction they are expecting. So that's why in suggested answer also, I want to concentrate only on the what ma? TDS and TCS point only. In case of senior citizen, the limit will be what ma? 50,000. Required to file the return of income mandatory. Here, TCS section number also I mentioned, that is 206C subsection 1F. How much amount of TCS ma? 28,000. That is more than how much ma? 25,000. That's why she required to file the return of income for the assessment year 25-26 mandatorily. Sir, you can mention about the total income. What is the total income? 2,52,000. It is not a criteria to write the answer because they are not mentioned anything about the regime. If you assume the default tax regime, you can write that answer as a not required. That is also wrong. Why? Your TCS point is attracted. Are you clear? So now, at least you have to write this page of this chapter. It is very important. Write it down. Special transactions one by one you have to remember. Start writing. Dana. Daughter. Sir? You have to prove that. That is not a new deposit. I am shifting the one account to another account. You have to prove it. So, totally they will consider it as a deposit only because you are transferring amount from one current account to another current account. But if they are sending the notice like that, yes, you have to prove it that is not a new deposit. That is an interbank transfers only. You have to prove it. But totally by way of interpreting the provision, no need to consider the deposits in that limit of 1 crore. Anything also. If your foreign travel expenditure exceeds that 2 lakh. So example, the company provided the foreign tickets, foreign travel expenditure in the terms of tickets. That is perquisite for you only. You have an income, you are required to file the return of income. Anything also, client meeting purpose also, etc. Example, I want to travel to the US on behalf of my company only. So they provided that. So that is treated as perquisite in your hands. That is treated as income only. So that's why file return of income. No need to pay the tax. But you have to file the return of income mandatorily. Because you have an capability to travel to foreign means you have any other income also. That's why they are stating that as a return of income is a mandatory. So example, if you want to travel to the Sri Lanka foreign trip also, okay, always you have to check one point, foreign travel expenditure should less than what ma? 2 lakh. If exceeds what is a requirement, we need to file the return of income. So they are restricting or they are imposing this condition. So if you are willing to travel to that foreign country, maybe you have also other income in India. So that's why they are strengthen the provisions of filing of return of income by way of introducing this. Next. Sir, if you having the bank account outside India, sir, if you has bank account outside India, but no authorized signatory, not required. You having the bank account in India and also he having the what ma signing authority, then only is required to file the return of income. Next. Aggregate. During that previous year, the total things, okay? If I am giving the chance now, you can ask, sir, what is the meaning of expenditure? What is the meaning of foreign? You can ask anything also. Jaffana. All together, during that previous year, total things we have to check. Sir, every month you are going for one foreign country. Okay? One expert asked the one more doubt. So, foreign travel expenditure means only flight tickets cost. No. Staying, traveling in the cities also. Total foreign travel expenditure, not only the flight cost. So, now. Next, ma. Next. Say hi to Akshita. Hi, Ra. Next point. Remember section numbers, ma? 139 4A, 139 4B, 139 4C, 139 4D, 139 4E, 139 4F. Sir, as of now, we discussed about individual HUF, AOP, BOI, HAP, company, partnership firm, LLP. Then what about other entities? They are also required to file the return of income when ma? Example, trust 139(4)(a). Yes, who is required to file the return of income under this section ma? Trust, charitable trust and religious trust, etc. They are required to file the return of income when the total income before claiming exemption under section 11 exceeds the how much ma? Basic exemption limit. Exceeds the how much amount ma? Basic exemption limit. Remember, total income before claiming exemption under section 11 exceeds the how much amount ma? Basic exemption. Sir, example, 10 lakh they have in the total income. How much exemption ma? Section 11 exemption, entire income will be exempt. So finally, what is the total income? We can say 0. But now total income we have to consider, before claiming that what ma? Exemption under section 10, how much ma? 10 lakh. So if that exceeds the how much? Basic now I want to ask the, what is the basic exemption limit for trust? Huh? Trust 2,50,000 if they are following the default tax regime 3 lakh. Trust categorized under AJP, artificial judicial person. Remember, final total income or total income before considering the exemption under section 11. Before considering the exemption under section 11, we have to check. Now, sir, 139(4)(b) is nothing but what ma? Related to political party. Related to what ma? Political party. The same political party can get the exemption under section 13A. Here also almost 100% of an exemption will be available. But remember, before claiming that exemption, please check their total income. If the total income exceeds the how much amount ma? Basic exemption. Here also same, artificial judicial person category. So 2,50,000 etc. will apply. So but you have to remember this exemption section numbers here. Trust related 11, political party related 13A. Now 139(4)(c), who is required to file the return of income under this section ma? Research association, news agencies, institution under section 10. Institution under section what ma? 10. Research association, news agencies, institution registered under section 10. Here also they can get the exemption under section what ma? 10. Now here also we have to check before claiming that relevant exemption, if their total income exceeds the how much amount ma? Basic exemption limit. Exceeds the how much ma? Basic exemption limit. We need to file the what ma? Return. Sir, no need to buy hatra. Just remember section number and entity and what is that exemption section number also. 4A, 4B, 4C done. Next ma? 4D, university, college, institution under section 35. Section 35 is a scientific research in our PCBP chapter. So again we can discuss in that. So that institution, the research institution under section 35, here mandatorily they are required to file the return of income. What is that? Mandatorily. So business trust ma? Mandatory. Business trust ma? Mandatory. So next investment fund, mandatory. So no need to check it out any exemptions that before exemptions before total income etc. So directly 4D, 4E, 4F, investment fund, business trust, university, college and institution registered under section 35, they are required to file their return of income mandatory. But for these three, yes, we haven't specific exemptions. Before claiming that exemptions, we have to check the what ma total income. Now, sir, in business trust chapter again, I will mention this point again. In investment fund chapter, I will mention this point again. In trust chapter, I will mention this point again. But as of now, you have to remember what are the section numbers and what are the entities and what is that exemption section number also. So now we discuss at the points related to who are required to file the return of income mandatorily. Now we can start our discussion with respect to this point. Yes, when these are fellows, or when these are all fellows are required to file the what ma return. So next 31st 7 of an assessment year, 31st October, 30th 11. How many due dates are there ma? 3. How many due dates are there? 3. So now while reading this point, always refer this point from the last due date. So last due date. So just I mentioned here report under section 92E. You don't know anything about this report under section 92E. It is a transfer pricing section number. It is a transfer pricing section number. Don't think about it. Example, I will tell you. If any person entered into international transaction, or if any person entered into that what must specified domestic transaction, for him transfer pricing provisions will apply. Which provisions will apply ma? Transfer pricing provisions will apply. So if any person yes ma already entered into these two type of or any type of transactions, already he complied with the transfer pricing provision, he required to submit that one audit report from the chartered accountant under which section ma 92E. So for that fellows, due date is 30th 11 of an what ma assessment year, on or before 30th 11 of what ma assessment year. So the only this type of category of persons only required to file the return on or before this date. So then what about the next due date ma? Company. Sir, here company means what ra? Foreign company, domestic company, public, any company also. What is the due date? 31st, so 31st October. Sir, any person who are going with a tax audit under section 44AB, for that fellow also, return of income required to file on or before what ma 31st October. Example, I am an individual. So for me, tax audit is applicable. So now, what is the due date for me ma? 31st October. Now, sir, partnership form is there ma? For that partnership form, tax audit applied under section 44AB, tax audit applied. What is the due date for this partnership form ma? 31st October. 31st October. Then what about their partners in their individual capacity? So in their individual capacity also they are required to file their return of incomes. So what is the due date ma? 31st October of an assessment year. 31st October of an what ma? Assessment year. Sir, here partner word is enough. No need to refer working partner or sleeping partner. Partner is enough. Example, you can read this sentence now. What is that? So, partners of partnership firm. Partnership firm books of accounts are subject to audit under section 44AB. Now, for partnership firm, tax audit is there. What is the due date for partners? Same due date for partners also. Here, here, is there any word like a working partner? No. I think 6 years before we haven't here working partners. Now there is no differentiation of working or non-working here with respect to the return file. So what is the reason? Now I want to know that what my reason. Example, I think in your foundation level, you know one point. If partnership firm books of accounts are closed, then only we can close the books of accounts of partners. Example, sir, I closed the books of accounts of the partnership firm. Now that share of profits can be added to that partners account. So that is one reason. But one more reason I can say, partnership firm P&L account is there. In that, these two amounts we can say interest on their capital and remuneration to the partners, they can take debit to their P&L account, and because of this debit treatment, so partnership firm net profit or PCBP reduced or not ma? Yes. So salary, remuneration or interest on partners capital, if any amount debited, so what is that effect ma? PCBP of the partnership firm can reduce. But at the same time, example, here 3 lakhs reduced because of these two items of expenses. Now the same amount is income for whom? Partners. Example, 3 partners are there. Each partner, yes ma, required to show their income in their return of income. How much ma? 1 lakh each. Totally how much ma? 3 lakh. So now they are filed the return of income on 31st October of assessment year. If these fellows also in individual capacity, if they are filed on the same due date, AO verification or cross verification is easy. So that's why they are balancing the same due dates for the partnership firm who having the tax audit and for their partners also. Remember again. Okay. So what is that ma? Whatever that amount is debited in that partnership firm account, P&L account, in terms of interest, in terms of what ma? Salary. So the same amount should be taxable in the hands of partners under which head of income ma? PCBP only. So here, which head of income we are reducing ma? PCBP. The same amount also will be taxable in the hands of partners under the PCBP. Two reasons I said. One reason, if books of accounts of partnership firm close, then only we can close the books of accounts of what ma? Whom ma? Partner. Second one, here partnership firm can reduce their PCBP by way of debiting these two items with respect to whom ma? Amount paid to partners. So partners also required to show this amount in their PCBP. So if they are maintained the same due dates, then AO can cross verify. Here what is the reduce, here what is the amount increase. These are all the things can be verified by the assessing officer. Yes, if they are filed the return of income on that what ma? Same due date. So now this is a very important point in terms of the what ma? Exam trends. So first 92E audit report assesses. Then after whom company tax audit assesses. For partnership firm tax audit is there. For their partners also what ma? 31st October. So last one, any other SSC. If you are reading from last to first, then only you can read here as an any other SSC. Are you clear up to now? Now, please take the workbook. Ma. Okay, just we can check the question number 1 and we can take a 10 minutes break. Write correct answer from the following statement as per section 139 of what ma? Income tax. So whether these statements are okay, they are asking correct answer for these statements ma. First read this line. Mr. Rahman, salaried employee of Kolkata based company, taxable income is how much ma? 4 lakh. And they are saying due date is 30th November 2025. Can you tell me for salaried employees, what is the due date ma? Over. The statement is not correct and we corrected the statement also. Due date is nothing but what ma? 31st 7. Second question ma. Raghav is a salaried employee of Tata Motors having taxable income 8 lakh and he filed income tax return within the due date. Okay, but as of now we are not covered the types of returns like belated return, etc. Okay, we can discuss this question later ma, no problem. Next one ma. See. So partnership form ma. Partnership form tax audit is there. Then what is the due date ma? 31st October of assessment year. Next question ma. Ankita is a working partner of partnership firm. Accounts of firm required to be audited. Then what is the due date for partner Ankita ma? Same due date. That is what ma? 31st October of what ra? Assessment year, that is 2020. So one part of the question is pending. We can discuss this question later, no problem. So please compare ma. Yes, discussed. Yes, rectified. Yes, we discussed this also. Now, one more question before break. One more question before break. Okay. State whether the following persons are mandatorily to furnish their return of income. Mr. Chaudhary, 52 years of age, gross total income is there and total income also there. But here, please check the note point. SSE has exercised the option to shift out or opt out of what ma? Default tax regime. That means SSE here following which tax rates ma? Normal tax rates, or we can call it as an old, or we can call it as an what ma? Optional. Okay. So now what is that basic exemption limit ma? So here SSE age is 52 years. That's why how much ma? 2,50,000. (52 years of age), 2,50,000. And we need to check the total income or gross total income ma? Gross total income. So what is that? 3 lakh. That's why return of income is required or not required ma? Yes, required. Sir, if you are verifying the total income is below the basic exemption limit. Total income before giving the effect of what ma? Chapter 6A means what ra? Gross total income we need to check. Second question ra. Partnership firm, directly they are required to file the return of income. Partnership firm including LLP company required to file the return of income. Yes, irrespective of what ma? Size, turnover or income. Next question ma. 62 years having the total income 2,80,000. Old regime tax follower ma. Basic exemption limit is how much ma? So now basic exemption limit is 3 lakh, but total income is how much ma? So required to file, not required to file, not required to file. Next one. Registered company. What is that answer? Mandatorily they need to file their return of income irrespective of the turnover, irrespective of the size, irrespective of the what ma? Income. Next, last question in this ESMA second question. ESMA Srimati I Singh 50 years. Total income is how much ma? 2,40,000. Before adjustment of what ma? Unabsorbed business loss. So remember, Total income is 2,40,000. Before adjustment of what ma? Unabsorbed business loss. Meaning, so our business loss is there 1 lakh. So after set off, what is the loss? What is that income we can get? 1 lakh 40. So what is the basic exemption limit generally? 2 lakh 50,000. But after adjusting the business loss, our total income will be what ma? Yeah, how much? 1 lakh 40,000. But if you have a loss, you are required to file the loss return in order to carry forward the loss to the next years. So ignore this question because loss return concept we can discuss after that. I will tell you. Remember here my total income this much is there. How much ma? 2 lakh 40 only. But how much business loss I have ma? 1 lakh. So this business loss I need to carry forward to next years. In order to carry forward this business loss to the next year, you are required to file the what ma? Return of income. That is also loss return mandated. So in first question, one part is pending. In second question also, this part is pending. So because after few minutes, we can start about the types of returns ma. So belated return, loss return, these questions are related to these concepts. We can discuss it later. And take a 10 minutes break. Yes, we can start at an 4:20. Okay, we can start. Yes, ma'am. Shall we start? Next, start చేద్దాం. So what are the concepts already we discussed in this chapter, ma? So I think just we discussed about the introduction. So intro completed. After that, so 139.1. So who required to file the return of income mandatorily? When they are all required to file their return of income also done. Next, we discussed about 139 4A, 4B, 4C, 4D, 4E, next 4F also done. 4A for trust, 4B for political party, 4C for news agencies, 4D for research, 4D for institution under section 35 college universities, 4E for business trust, 4F for investment fund. So these are only the points are done as of now. Next we have to start our discussion with the 139 subsection 1 capital C. Yes ma, page number 32 you can open. Yes, section 139 1C. Section 139 1C. What is that ma? Relaxation from filing of return of income. Sir, exclusively this section we have in our CMA final only. So what is that point ma? Generally, as per the 139.1 you are required to file. But if any person covered in this section, they are not required to file their return of income. First one, persons notified by the whom? Central government. Sir, in some certain circumstances, they will give a notification by the central government. So, list of persons who are not required to file their return of income. In any cases, they can release a notification. Second one important. Who is that person ma? Specified senior citizen. Who is that? Specified senior citizen. So senior citizen means 60 years or more. Then what do you mean by the specified senior citizen ma? Not very senior citizen, not a super senior citizen. Here specified senior citizen means in the first point you have an idea, resident having the 75 years or more. That person only called as what ma? Specified senior citizen. And if you followed that below how many conditions ma? 4 conditions. If you followed that below how many conditions ma? 4 conditions. Then we required to file the we are not required to file the what ma? Return of income. First condition, resident and having the how many years of age ma? 75. Second point, clearly they are saying he having that only what are 2 types of incomes. One is an pension income, another one is what ma? Interest income. Sir, pension can be received by generally whom ma? Retired employees. So if you having that any fixed deposit or if any savings bank account, he can receive that what ma? Interest. These 2 amounts also should be credited to the same bank account. That same bank account only now we can call it as an specified bank. Example, pension credited to SBI, interest also should be credited to which account ma? SBI. Now that bank only called as what? Specified bank. Now, SSE, who is a specified senior citizen, given a declaration to that bank, yes, I have only these 2 types of incomes throughout the previous year. The 2 incomes also credited to your account only. If TDS needs to be deducted under section 194P, you can deduct the TDS. Under section what ma? 194P. So example, 10 lakh is there ma? 1 lakh TDS they deducted. How much net amount needs to be given to the specified senior citizen? After TDS, net amount needs to be given. Example, in our example, 10 lakh is an deposits amount and the pension amount, interest amount ma. How much amount? 10 lakh. So out of the 10 lakh, 1 lakh TDS deducted. How much amount now specified senior citizen can get in his hands ma? 9 lakh. Remember, these are all the conditions we need to satisfy cumulatively. Here, why this fellow is not required to file ra? Only 2 incomes are there. On the 2 incomes, tax already deducted. So that's why no need to file return of income separately in assessment here, because your age is more than 75 years. We don't want to struggle you for filing of return of income. Ultimately, we collected the tax in the form of what ma? TDS. So that's why no need to file the return of income in which year ma? Assessment year. These are the 2 persons only relaxed from filing of return of income under which section ma? 139 1C. First, central government notified person. Second one, specified senior citizen. How many conditions ma? 4. First condition, resident having the 75 years of age. And second one, he having that only 2 incomes, pension income, interest income. These 2 incomes should be credited to the same bank account. Now, same bank account is called as what ma? Specified bank. Now, SSE, specified senior citizen, already given a declaration to the bank. What is that? These are the 2 incomes only I have throughout the previous year. If TDS deductible under section 194 PS, you can deduct the TDS. So after TDS deduction, the remaining amount needs to be given to whom? Specified senior citizen. Upon all the conditions are satisfied, no need to file the return of income. Yes, because they are giving the privilege to the specified senior citizens. Yes, due date hurries, and if you are creating a pressure to that type of persons, yes sir, what will happen? If he committed any suicide or if he committed anything wrongly, next year TDS and tax collection chance can be, yes ma, lose. That's why they don't want to pressure the senior citizens. Sir, at the time of introduction of this provision, many specified senior citizens are asking the tax professional, sir, the government is giving the relaxation from payment of tax. That statement is correct? No. They are giving the relaxation for what? Filing of return. Without knowing you only, we are already collected the tax in the previous year by using which section ma? 194P. They are given the relaxation for return or tax return. Clear ma all of you? Online. Next, give the heading types of returns. Yes, ma. Types of returns. Sir, normally already we discussed about the what ma 139.1, that is called what ra? Original return. Who required to file the return of income? When they are required to file the return of income is also over. Now we can discuss about the loss return, belated return, revised return, defective return, updated return is there. Yes, ma. Updated return is there. But updated return we can discuss as a separate chapter. You can verify your index. We can discuss this updated return as a separate concept. So now that we can discuss in this chapter. Clear? So what are the types of returns we have, ma? Original return, loss return, belated return, revised return, defective return, updated return. But updated return 139.8 we can discuss as a separate chapter. Sir, if you want to purchase the DT books, the DT books are totally available, sir. But if you want MCQ, or if you want concept, if you want workbook, or if you, that is not at all possible, sir. Separate books we can't sell. Reason is there, if I am trying to sell the individual books, so later on few days you can ask the chapter wise also. So that's why I don't want to sell, sir. Reason is that only. Many students are asking the chapter wise classes. How can I sell the chapter wise classes, sir? If I am selling the chapter wise classes, then after few days or after few batches, you can ask the problem wise classes also. Normally. Next month. Sorry, sir. If you want to purchase, yes, you can purchase the total set, sir. Now, 139.3. Sir, why we are not discussing that 139.1, sir? It's already over. Now, 139.3. Shall we start, ma? After few minutes, if any person not listen the chapter till now, you can realize a lot, sir. I will open the past exam question papers and all the questions also. Some of you definitely can felt happy before leaving this class. If any persons are already already taken as gaps between the class, na, definitely they can realize at the end of the class. Please listen carefully. What is that concept, ma? Loss return. Many, yes, sir, many SSEs practically also, sir, if I have an income, that too income more than basic exemption limit, then I will file the return of income. Sir, I haven't lost during the previous year, sir. So that's why I don't want to file the return of income. It's okay. Department also will not ask anything about filing of return of income. But you need to know about one fact. What is it? If you have lost during that previous year, if you want to carry this loss to that what ma next assessment years, mandatorily you are required to file the which return, ma? Loss return. Return you have to file, that return only called as what? Loss return. Remember, return of income is required to file up to that what date, ma? Due date under section 139.1. Sir, loss return means it is not a separate thing. Generally, as per 139.1 due dates only. What are the due dates, ma? 31st 7, 31st October, 30th November. Within these due dates only we can file. But we are mentioning the how much, we are mentioning the what, ma? Loss in that returns. That's why that return is called as what, loss. You have to file the loss return within this due date in order to carry forward that loss to that what, ma? next assessment year. Here also one point you have to remember. Sir, already I got loss, sir. So I don't want to check the due dates. Whenever I have a free time, I want to file the return. Will it be correct? No. If you want to file the loss return, in order to carry forward that losses to the next years, you are required to file the loss return within that what are due dates. So what are the losses you can carry forward if you file the loss return within the due date, ma? These four. What are the losses, ma? Business loss. Sir, whether it is a normal business loss or speculative business loss. Or next last one, ma? Specified business loss. Business loss, that may be normal, speculative, specified business loss. If you want to carry forward to the next year, you have to file the loss return within the due date. Next one, ma. If any capital gain head related losses, loss from owning and maintaining of what, ma? Race horses. Here I want to tell you, yes, ma, winnings from horse races. Here just you are doing the betting activity or gambling activity only. Horse races are there, within that I'm placing some betting, I'm getting some amount of money, that is only called as what, ma? Winnings from horse races. It is a casual income taxable under income from other sources at the rate of what, ma? 30%. Anyone, can you tell me that section number? Tax rate is mentioned in this section 115. Hey, BBJ is for net winnings from online games. ఇక నచ్చినవన్నీ చెప్పుకోవడం వరుసగా. 115 BB is nothing but what, ma? Casual incomes related tax rate. Now remember, sir, similarly we have this wording, but it is not a casual income. I am owning and maintaining the race horses. Example, I am purchasing the horses, I am given the feeding and the training, etc. Just I am doing the one type of business activity only. Here I am not doing any gamblings, or here I am not doing any place of bets, etc. Here I am not conducting any races. Just I am purchasing the horses, training, food, nutrition, etc. I am providing. After I am selling to the others. It is a miscellaneous business activity only. So it will be taxable under income from other sources. Taxable at what rates, ma? Normal rates. So now, if you haven't the loss in this activity, you can't carry forward to that next year's. You can't set off also, you can't carry forward also. You can't set off, and the next years you can't carry forward also. But here, if you having the loss, yes, ma, you can set off against the same activity, and you can carry forward also against the what, ma? Same activity. Example, I having the two businesses, ma, one in Hyderabad, another one is in Bengaluru. So one activity related loss I have, can I set off against such same activity? Yes. Next year also you can carry forward, but we can do these things with the what, ma? Same activity businesses. Clear? Now, so here what is that wording, ma? Losses from owning and maintaining of race horses. So that's why you can carry forward or you can set off also. But if you want to carry forward and set off, can you tell me loss return required to file within that what, ma? Due date. So now four type of losses you have to remember. Business loss, normal, speculative, specified. Capital gain related losses. Owning and maintaining of what, ma? Race horses. Race horses. Sir, if that is winnings from horse races, can I carry forward? No. Can I set off? No. But now, refer these two, house property loss, unabsorbed depreciation. You can carry forward these two losses even if loss return filed after due date. last return filing is mandatory. But last return filed after due date also okay with respect to what are the losses? House property loss, unabsorbed depreciation. Remember, loss return filing is a mandatory. But within the due date for these 4 losses. After the due date also okay for these 2 losses. Without loss return, can I carry forward? No. Simply loss return only can be acting as a proof how much loss we are required to carry forward to that next years. Clear? So now last attempt exam question paper. No problem. I will download. Question number 4. MCQ question number 4. Please read it out. 2 marks question they are asking that. Which one of the following can carry forward subsequent year even if return is filed beyond the due date? 2 marks. Every attempt we are getting a questions from the return of income. So, if you are reading this entire question paper even in your exam or after completion of exam also, I can say simply, sir, 10 MCQs easily you can pick answers. Sir. Even though you are a ranker also or any other universe person also, you can pick 10 MCQs answer comfortably. And out of these 7 questions, we have to write that how many marks? 5. So 1 or 2 questions completely ditto questions they will give. So 10 MCQs means you got 20 already. And out of that 7, you can write 2 questions directly. 2 questions directly means 14 mark questions, 2 questions directly you can write. Remaining, if you are trying to write answers or trying to write the provisions, and if you try now, then you will get an exemption. Many students are thinking that, so no sir, if I know 100 mark question paper, then only I can attempt. Maybe your grandchildren can qualify before you. If you are thinking like that, definitely your grandchildren or children get qualification before ourselves. Definitely. Remember, yes, while you are reading that question paper, 10 MCQs will be in your hands at 20 marks. How many marks our target? 40 or 50 or 60 or 70? So I think yesterday I saw one video in YouTube. Right? Okay. I don't know what is the channel name also. In that they allocated the marks for that every subject. In that they are allocated DT 40 marks only. Right? That means students should target the 40 marks only in DT. Yeah? Maybe. Most of the students may be thinking that 40 is enough in DT. So, okay, as per their expectation, no problem. Now, yeah, I don't know the channel name. So, this type of MCQs and 2 questions directly they will give you. So, if you are written perfect answer for that question, you will get a definitely 40 marks. The remaining we have a liberty to answer nearly 5 MCQs are there, and remaining descriptive question if you are attempting near answers or some sub part of the questions also if you are answer not, then try close to 60 marks you will get. Next, one example, this is only your 5 mark question. First I will explain the example. So then after I will open the workbook question, you need to read that question on your own only. Okay. Mr. X is an SSC, previous year and assessment year. Okay. Previous year and assessment year. What is the due date, ma? 31st 7. Okay, super. But due date extended to which date, ma? 31st 8. Okay. In the question, if they are given extended due date, you have to consider the what, ma? Extended due date. Now, sir, definitely on or before this Mr. X required to file. But having the many works, sleeping in that class. Okay. Many works are there. One of the work is sleeping in the class. So, like due to that work, he is unable to file the return of income in time, sir. So, he filed exactly on this day, 1 a.m. So, he's trying to file on that midnight of 31st 8 only. But unfortunately, after submission of the OTPs and etc., if he seeing the time exactly, that is in what, ma? 1/9/2025, that is 1 a.m. Sir, whether he filed within the due date or after the due date? After the due date only. Sir, this worst fellow sleeping in that class, that means, yes, sir, you don't know, he having the business loss 3.2 crores. Sir, if any person having the business loss, what he needs to do first? Within the due date, he needs to file the return of income in order to carry forward this loss to the next years. But, so he wants to beg with the income tax authorities. Sir, I haven't genuine reasons, sir, for not filing the return of income within the due date. Internet issue, server issue, these are called as an what, ma? Genuine reasons. So now I want to apply before the income tax authorities. Please condone the delay of filing of return of income for 1 day. Sir, after 30 days, if you file the return of income, if you are asking the condonation of delay, definitely they will not accept this type of application. If you want to ask with the income tax department also, it's a server issue, internet issues related. If you want to raise any, yes sir, query, so they will give that condonation only for 1 working day only. Exactly, he's filed the return of income after 1 hour. So what is that, ma? 12 isn't correct time. So he filed after what, ma? 1 hour. So as per the case law also, delay in the filing of return of income also, that can be condoned by the department because of the genuine reason. For how many working days, ma? 1 day. So after 30 days, if you file and if you are asking with this income tax department also, they will not accept, ma. Now our SSC, yes, ma. Now our SSC loss is how much, ma? Mentioned in the return, 3.2. Remember, if your loss up to how much, ma? 50 lakh, you can ask with the commissioner of income tax and the principal commissioner of income tax. In next chapter, you can see these are all abbreviation. Now you can just read it out and ignore. Loss 50 lakhs to 2 crore, you need to ask with the whom, ma? Chief commissioner of income tax. 2 crores to 3 crores, ma? Principal chief commissioner of income tax. If loss above how much, ma? 3 crores, you need to ask with the whom, ma? CBDT. Now here Mr. X needs to beg with the whom, ma? CBDT for condonation of delay in filing of return of income. If CBDT is given an approval, he can carry forward how much loss to the next year's, ma? 3.2 crores. This provision got an amended. So this provision got amendment with effect from which date, ma? 1/10/2024. If you want to apply to these authorities on or after this date, then limits are changed. So before that date, yes, these are the limits. But if you want to make an application on or after 1/10/2024, then limits are changed. Sir, loss up to 1 crore, you can apply before whom? CIT or PCIT. So loss up to 1 crore, you can apply before whom? CIT, PCIT. Next, loss 1 crore to 3 crore, you can apply before whom? CCIT. Now, Loss is 3 crores I have, sir. So now you can apply before whom? Principal, Chief Commissioner of Income. So now, before amendment, who is an higher authority for making an application? CBDT. Now after amendment, who is an higher authority? Principal, Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. Sorry, day before exam, many students are asking which dates I should remember, sir. Both the dates you should remember. Based on the making of an application date only, you can go with the which authority is suitable for you. So that means before this date, if you want to apply, yes, how many authorities I have, ma? 4 authorities. After this date, if you want to apply, yes, you can go with the what, ma? These authorities. CBDT is not there. On or after which date, ma? 1/10/2024. Sir, explanation also easy, remembrance also very easy only. But while you are writing in an examination, you have to frame all these things in the sentences. That is only the difficult thing, sir. Understanding easy. If they are asking orally also easy, and the remembering that entire summary in your mind also easy. If I am given the piece of paper and if I am asking an answer in that lines, okay, you can write only this para. Conclusion also we should not write wrong. So that is only the fact. Now I will open this question from our workbook. Now try to read this question for me. Question number 7. Yes. Okay. Check ma. Rajesh regularly files return of income electronically. While he was trying to upload his return of income for this assessment year on this date, he found extremely difficult due to network problems. Ultimately, he filed these returns on which date, ma? 1st August 2023. What is the general due date, ma? 31st/7/2023 isn't due date, but he filed on what date, ma? 1/8/2023. But in his return, he disclosed how much loss, ma? 3.10 crores business loss. So the circumstances, totally whatever the situation happened in that return filing time, he drafted a mail and addressed to competent income tax authority on the same day. Now he is requesting the CBDT to condonation of delay in filing of what, ma? Return of income. So discuss whether the CBDT having that power. Can you tell me power is there or not, ma? Yes. You are making an application on exactly this day, before amended or after amendment, ma? Before amendment. So that means before amendment more than loss 3 crore is there. You have to make an application to whom, ma? CBDT. So now what will your answer will change if the loss amount is 2.7 crore. If the loss amount is 2.7 crore, you have to go with the, yes, ma? Principal, Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. Sir, in next chapter, I will tell you powers of CBDT, ma. So section 119. In next chapter, I will tell you powers of income tax authorities. Normally, one of the authorities whom, CBDT. So CBDT has a power to condone the delay in filing of what, loss return. So just for your interest only, I will open the next chapter PDF. No need to open by you. Yes, ma. Powers of CBDT. So admit the application. Powers of whom, ma? CBDT. So admit the application. Claim after the expiry of what, ma? Time limit. So that means even after expiry of time limit, if you file the return of income also, we are given the what ma carry forward of the last to next years. So please refer this question answer ma. But here one case law I mentioned, read this case law name. Lodi Property Company Limited versus Department of Revenue. Sir, this delay was how many days ma? Only 1 day. And if you are showing the justifiable reason for delay in that filing of return of income for how many days ma? 1 day. Sir, after 5 days, 6 days, sir, just my internet connection is too low, sir. That's why I'm waiting for filing of return of income for last 10 days. If you are saying like this, they will not accept or they will not entertain your application, ma. So how many days they can wait, ra? 1 day. 1 day working is not required, just 1 day. Clear, ma? So the limits also I mentioned. With effect from this date, what are the limits? And before that, what is the limit also I mentioned clearly. Yes. Ma, please remember, these limits are amended by using CBDT circular, not by using the Act. CBDT circular, not in Finance Act. CBDT given the circular. So if you want to make an application with effect from this date with the authorities for condonation in the delay of filing of return of income, they mention the limits, amended limits by using that CBDT circular. Clear, ma? Yes, please give me confirmation about your understanding with respect to the question number 7. So loss return concept is entirely done. So after the completion of loss return, we have a next 139.4. What is that? Belated return. Shall we start belated return concept? What do you mean by the belated? I'm not asking about belated return, just I'm asking belated meaning. Late or early? Late. Sir, within the due date, you are required to file. But actually, due to some reasons, I'm unable to file the return of income within the due date. Now, we are providing one more chance to file the return of income even after the due date. First, I will discuss the example. Check it out the screen, ra. Assessment year starting date, assessment year ending date. Why I am taking that assessment year dates, ma? Because total drama of return of income will be played in assessment year. So what is the due date, ma? 31st/7 is a due date. Why 31st/7, ma? Tax audit is also not applicable. He is an individual. So that's why 31st/7. This fellow is not filed the return of income within the due date, ma. So that's why after due date also he can file. So what is that? After due date we can file means, is there any time limit or at any time we can file? Time limit is there. Under section 139.4, time limit is there. Yes. Time limit, I will take the A or B, whichever is earlier. Hey, whichever is earlier. We are taking the dates, whichever is lower is not possible, whichever is earlier. So 3 months prior to end of relevant assessment year. So 3 months prior to end of relevant assessment year means what? 31st December of an assessment year. Next. Or assessment completion. Sir, this assessment completion, yes ma, it is not a calculated date ma. I only provided the date for you. In exam also they will provide. It is not a calculated date. It isn't just I am given a date and in exam also they will mention. Whichever is earlier ma, 30th 11 of an 25. In this time you can file the what ma? Belated return. Example, I will tell you. If you not file the return of income, how AO will verify your income? Sir, if I am filing return of income, the return of income can be verified by whom? Department. So now if you not file the return of income also, assessing officer can do that one type of assessment, that is only best judgment assessment. If you file return of income, okay, that return of income only can be verified by the department. If you not at all file the return of income, now assessing officer will start the one type of assessment procedure. That assessment procedure only known as what? Best judgment assessment. Please check the screen. Best judgment assessment. Best judgment means nothing but based on available data, AO only will compute that income and compute the tax, and they will send the notice. They will send the what? Notice. Now, so best judgment assessment completed date also I provided. Before this assessment completion, if you file the belated return, that's okay. After completion of assessment, I don't want your return of income because I already completed assessment. So what are the two dates, ma? Belated return can be filed within the time limits. What are the time limits, ma? 3 months prior to end of relevant assessment year or assessment completion, whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier. Now I want to take the one more example for your better understanding only. Check it out. So I want to take that assessment year starting day and ending day because total drama happened in assessment year only. So now return of income here, tax audit was there, ma. So tax audit was there means return of income due date is 31st October. So return not filed within the due date. So that's why we need to check for the what, ma? Belated return. Belated return can be filed within 3 months. Within the 3 months prior to end of relevant assessment year. That is nothing but what, ma? 31st 12 of 2025. 3 months prior to end of the what, ma? Relevant assessment year. Our assessment completed on 14th February. Yes, ma. This is a given date, not a calculated date. Assessment completed on which date, ma? 14th to 2026. Can you tell me whichever is what, ma? Earlier. Whichever is what, ma? Earlier. So now maximum time limit for filing of belated return, can I say 31st 12 2025. Here also, what is the maximum time, ma? 31st 12 2025. Sir, here whichever is earlier means nothing but 31st 12 2025. Mr. X can file the belated return what, ma? Within this date. Sir, MCQ point of view important. You can file the return of income after due date also. But that is within the time limits under which section, ma? 139(4). What are the time limits, ma? Earlier of the two dates. One date is in 3 months prior to end of relevant assessment year or assessment completion date, whichever is earlier. Sir, here remember, assessment completion date in exam they will give you. It is not a calculated date. Sometimes assessment can be completed before this date also. Here assessment completed before the 3 months prior to end of relevant assessment year. Maybe if an assessing officers are busy, that assessment can be completed after what, 31st 12 2025 also. I am taking just two things also. In exam, they will give you which date, ma? Assessment completed date. Clear, ma, up to now? Now, next, what is the concept, ma? Revised return. How many types of returns are already over means? Remember, 139 1C over. What is that 1C? Relaxation from filing of return of income. Next, ma, 139 3 what, ma? Loss return. 139 4. Now what is that? 139 what? Revised return. Sir, what are the type of returns we can revise? Revise means what, ma? Change. Original return you can revise. Loss return you can realize, belated return you can revise, already revised return if you file, that also we can what ma revise. So nothing but simply all returns can be what ma revised. So why we are going to revise the returns? If you discovered any mistake or any omissions in already filed returns, that now we can do what ma revise. So time limit, I don't want to give any time waste for you. The same time limits mentioned in 139 subsection 4 means what ra? What is a return ma? Belated return. So can you tell me what is the time limit mentioned in 139 4 ma? Ma? Super. Again, 3 months prior to end of relevant assessment year or assessment completion, whichever is. ఇప్పుడు కూడా లోయర్ అన్నాడు ఒకడు. సరే నెక్స్ట్. So now two more examples I want to take for the revised return. Please take. So I want to take the starting day and ending day of the assessment year. Listen carefully. Starting day and ending day of what ma? Assessment year. So within the due date you filed or not filed ma? Not filed. Hey. Within the due date you are not filed the return. So now what will happen ma? Within that belated return time limits you are required to file. Now 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year or assessment completion, whichever is earlier ma? Assessment completion earlier. So before this date we can file the which returns ma? Belated return. So now hero filed the belated return. Please check ma, on 7/8 he filed return under section 139 4 means what ma? In that belated return he found some mistakes ma. Now he wants to revise this. Can you tell me what is the time limit for revised ma? Same time limit. On or before this date, at any time you can file the what ma? Revised return also. So now can you tell me this revised return filed within the time or after time ma? Within the time. Again in this revised return we found some mistakes ma. Can we do revision again? Yes. But what is the time limit? Within the time. Within that 30th 11 of an assessment year you can do n number of revisions also. How many times can I revise my return ma? N number of times, but within the time limit. So what is the time limit ma? 3 months prior to end of relevant assessment year or assessment completion, whichever is earlier. Clear ma up to now? Now sir, in December 2022 exam, they are given these points directly for 4 marks. Yes, your study material, these 4 points directly they are asking for 4 marks. Now, please see, please check the screen. Finally, AO will do the assessment for which return ma? Return filed on this day or latest return ma? Latest return. That means now I revise a return, it substitutes which return ma? Original return. That is only the point. It substitutes the which return ma? Original return. That means if you file revised return, it substitutes the which return ma? Original return. Second, you can file the revised return for unlimited times, but within the due date under section 139(5). These 2 points are okay na? Yes. Now, third point. Normally, we need to file the return of income within the due date. If due date missed, then we have a chance to file the return within that what belated return time. That is also missed. So then AO will send the notice to you. Babu, you are not at all filed return of income. Please furnish the return of income. This type of notice AO can send to that SSE after the due date only. Before the due date, if AO sent the notice, SSE will not think about it as. Because within the due date, I know I will file the return of income, get lost. So, but after the due date only, we can send this type of notice to whom? SSE. In response to that notice, we file the return of income. Can I revise that return of income? No. Sir, in response to 142.1 notice, if you file the return of income, that return of income cannot be revised. Voluntarily, if you file the return of income, yes, that's okay. Voluntarily, if you file that what yes, return of income, that you can revise, again you can revise. But if you filed any return in response to that notice, that returns cannot be what revised. Sir, 142.1 notice, don't think about it. It is only our first section in assessment procedure chapter. When you can send the notice, when they will receive the notice, all the points I will tell you in an assessment procedure chapter. But you have to remember, generally we need to file the return of income within the due date. If due date missed, belated. If you are not filed, then department will send the notice under which section? 142.1. 142.1 notice can be sent before the due date or after the due date? After the due date. Clear? No. So maybe if you haven't some exposure related to filing of return of income, sir, already I filed return of income electronically. Now, how can I file the revised return? Revised return also you have to file electronically. Just log into that e-filing website. You have to click the column. Sorry, you have to click that option section 139.5. Otherwise, if you are sending the revised calculations, revised statements, letters, etc. to that AO, that will not be considered as an revised return. If you want to file the revised return, yes, you have to file that revised return by using e-filing website. Sir, I am drafting a letter to the AO. I am sending the paper, or if I am sending the revised calculation to the AO, that will not treat it as an revised return. Sir, for understanding the next point, just you can imagine salary SSE's example. Sir, after filing of return of income, I think, okay, in present cases, the processing can be late, but earlier years, after filing the return of income, within 15 days, we can receive the refund. Sir, you file that return of income. In the return of income, you are asking the refund of how much amount? Of 50,000. How much amount? 50,000. You received that refund also. Whatever that amount you are expecting as a refund, received also by processing. Processing means nothing but first step in the assessment. So the summary assessment only called as processing. Department just processed this thing and they are allocated the how much amount of refund whatever you placed in your return of income. But after receiving that refund or after receiving the intimation, can I file revised return? Yes, but you have to check the time limit. Sir, mistakenly I placed 50,000 refund, sir. Generally, what is that eligible amount of refund in my case? 75. By mistakenly I filed 50,000, sir. Within 1 day they are processed and next day they are given the refund, sir. But now I have an extra time also available for filing the revised return. Can I file revised return? Yes. This is a very important point. Many students are not at all written the correct answers for this after receiving the intimation, after getting the refund also. Can I file the revised return? Yes. But you have to check the time limit given under section 139(5), that is in 3 months prior to end of relevant assessment year or assessment completion date, whichever is earlier. Now, one more important point. Sir, I filed return of income for Shikhara tutorial, sir. Just imagine. So 10 lakh income I declared, but I will go with the presumptive taxation scheme. Okay, I declared how much amount ma? 10 lakh. So PCBP, if I'm computed, I got 10 lakhs, sir. But I forgot to take the salaries expenditure as a deduction. If I'm taking the salaries 2 lakhs as a deduction, how much income I will get ma? 8 lakh. But already I filed my return of income with the how much amount of income ma? 10 lakh. Now if I am revising with the salary expenditure, what is that amount I will get ma? 8 lakh I will get. Now, if you want to claim any fresh thing before AO, that can be filed by way of filing that which return ma? Revised return. Now, yes, please check that. SSC already filed a return. Yes, in that return of income, what is that amount he declared with the AOMA? 10 lakhs. Now, if you want to claim any expenditure before whom AO, can I send any letter to him? No. What is the thing I can do ma? I can file 139(5) revised return. If you want to claim any income or expenditure freshly before AO, what is the remedy or what is the chance available for you ma? Revised return. Clear ma up to now? Sir, many persons are thinking that, sir, I filed the return of income with the wrong amount, sir. Can I meet AO once for giving the salaries expenditure as a deduction? No. They will not give a chance to you also for meeting. Sir, how can I claim anything before AO after filing the return ma? Revised return. So then, yes ma, this is an original return you filed. This original return, yes, you filed. Now you file the revised return. Revised return will substitute which return ma? Original return. Now they will do the processing on which return ma? Super. Processing also they can do on what return ma? Revised. Are you clear up to now? Yes. What are the concepts are already over? 139, this is an relaxation, loss return over, belated return over, revised return over. So I will say some points ma, you can say yes or no. Original return can be revised. Belated return can be revised. Loss return can be revised. Revised return can be revised. Yes ma. Revised return can be filed even after receiving that intimation or receiving the refund. Yes, this is only the point. After receiving the intimation under section 143(1), that is a processing under section 143(1), after refund also, you can do what ma? Revise the return file. Next, before break last concept. Before closure of class or before break, morning, I think you enjoyed the total session by, okay, whatever the session conducted by each Srinivasa, you enjoyed. So afternoon, I think, okay, I don't know where you are taking lunch also. Slowly, okay. Timetable is in my hands, sir. Definitely, I will adjust that. Yes, any class in afternoon, I will take in night time. So again, I am saying to all of you, you can plan your schedule, whatever it may be, the revision and all the things after completion of class. Morning 7 to evening 8, our class schedule. Okay. So otherwise we can take in breaks also, we can take holidays also, and we can skip 30% of the syllabus from every subject also, and we can complete within 100 hours also, we can complete. But that is not a that is not a agenda for any faculty also. So if possible, I will only skip that some part of the chapters. Okay, the remaining faculties are will not agree. So our timetable will start from generally 7 to evening 8. So you can, for face-to-face students, I'm saying, then what about SFM? I think many students are asking about SFM virtual live. Sir, not willing to take the SFM virtual live sessions. If I'm asking also, sir, not willing to conduct the virtual live sessions. The reason is nothing but, sir, not aware about the technology. That is on one point. So if you know the technology also, class timings can be wasted in his view. And he having some bad experiences while conducting the live in the earlier batches. That's why, okay, at the end of the every day, he will upload the class from his system only. So next day you can plan, okay, face to face, nothing but what 4-hour session today conducted. Now tomorrow during that face to face timings, you can watch that session. Either, sir, we already enrolled for the virtual batch, sir, but now I want to come to that face to face. Yes, welcome. You can attend for that face to face batch also for only that subject. So that all the things are possible. Don't think too much about it. So I already tried to contact E. Srinivas sir yesterday, today, morning, afternoon, even after 10 minutes back also. So that is only the point. Next, last type of return is what, ma? Defective return. Not last type, one more type is there. What is that, ma? Updated return. But okay, this is normally the last type in this chapter, defective return. Sir, tax audit applicable for me. Okay, tax audit also done, but I am not submitted the tax audit report along with the return of income to the AO. Now my return will be treated as what, ma? Defective return. If anything needs to be attached with your return of income, if you are not attached that all the things, that return can be treated as a defective by whom? AO. Example, stock statements, books of accounts, proof of payment of tax, tax audit report, some annexers. Annexer means nothing but what, ma? Attachments. Whatever the proofs they are required to, they are asking that. So you have to add it out. So if you are not attached anything, that return can be treated as what, ma? Defective return. Now I will tell you one simple example. Previously, yes, ma, we are going with the what, ma? Annexerless ROI. That means, sir, I think last year, up to the last year, we claimed 80C, HRA, 80D, 80DD, 80DDB. Some SSEs are claiming 80U also. What is that 80U, right? SSE himself or herself declared as a disabled. Okay. They are not asking any proofs. Why? We are going with the what, ma? Annexerless ROI. During that assessment, if AO wants to get any information related to this deduction, then they will ask. But these details mandatorily you have to attach. Tax audit report, statements, proof of payment of tax, some things you have to attach to the return of income. If you are not attached, AO will treat that return as an what, ma? Defective return. Sir, of defective, yes, AO needs to give an information to whom, ma? Whom? SSC. Okay, sir, I treated your return as a defective return because of so and so reason. This reason also you have to communicate. This reason also you have to communicate. Sir, you are not attached the tax audit report, sir. That's why I treated your return as a defective return, and they will give a time period for rectification of defect. How many days, ma? 15 days. How many days they can allow for the rectification of defect? 15 days. In some genuine cases, they can go for that what more number of days also. So in genuine cases, they can give the time period more than 15 days also. Generally, if you are not rectified within 15 days, that return can be treated as what invalid. That return can be treated as what invalid. Are you clear up to now? So now we done with the 139.9 also. What is that defective return. These are only the things done. But open the workbook. I think within the first question we left B point. Now you can read this B point and tell me the answer. Raghav, salaried employee of an Tata Motors, taxable income is how much 8 lakh. So he fails to file the income tax return within the due date. Now he wants to file the belated return. Can you tell me the belated return? What is that maximum time limit 31st December of which year assessment year, but they are giving it as on 31st March of 2026. That statement is wrong. What is the correct thing 31st 12. So our assessment completion whichever is earlier. Now in the second question also we left the E point now you can see the line. Sir, what is the total income 2,40,000. Unabsorbed means we are unable to set off during the previous year, that we have to carry forward to which years next year. So now this fellow is required to file the return or not required required. Why? If you want to carry forward the losses to the next years, you are required to file the loss return. So not compulsory, but if you want to carry forward the loss to the next year, you need to submit the return within that what due date. Your answer written in the negative points. If you are not filed within the due date, you are unable to carry forward your business loss to the next year. So there is no compulsion of filing of loss return. They will not question you. Sir, you got a loss. If you are not filed the return of income, no one can send the notice to you. That is an advantage for department only. Why? Next year, if you got a profit, an entire profit, I will collect the tax. Next. So this is only question number 3. If we discuss one part of the chapter will be over. So just 10 minutes we can close the question number 3 and we can leave. Akka already closed. Okay. December 22, 8 mark question, sir. 8 mark. Either you can download the question paper and you can verify whether this question is there or not also. In your study material, you will not find even single question also from the return of income chapter. In your study material, you will not find even single question also from return of income chapter. So just I am taking these are all the questions from the past examinations as well as CA resources. No need to refer even one extra question also. First go through it. State with the reasons whether the return of income must be filed in the following cases or not. Alan is an resident individual, aged how many years 81 years, having total income of what 3,10,000. Already he claimed chapter 6A reduction how much 1,50,000. Long term capital gain 1,20,000. He opted normal tax rate. So that's why basic exemption limit is how much 5 lakh. So we need to check the gross total income. So total income is 3,10,000. Chapter 6A reduction is 1,50,000. We need to check the before claiming the chapter 6A deductions total income. How much 4,50,000. 60,000. Sir, this 1,20,000 already included in 4,60,000. There is no importance to that line, but you have to understood How you will get the gross total income? All heads of income. Within that, one head of income is what? Capital gain. So whether he is required to file or not required, not required to file. Answer, not required to file the what, return of income. So 4,60,000, that is nothing but what, that is nothing but what, below the basic exemption. So that's why he is not required to file the return of income. So next, one more point they attached. Yes, it is an already forming part of total income. Yes, even though it is an included also. How much gross total income you got, 4,60,000. So that's why not required to file return of income. Yes. First bench. Can you say answer for this question, bro? Try. Yes, partnership firm they mentioned. Even though they haven't lost, they haven't profit, size, yes sir, size, turnover, these are all the things are irrelevant. Directly you are required to file the what, return of income. Next question. Wait. Narasimha. So, okay, Negari Association eligible for exemption under section 10 subsection 23B. They have an house property income 4,30,000. Whether they are required to file the return of income or not, Sir, first question he followed that which rates, normal tax rate. Okay, remember. Here they are not mentioned anything. So can you tell me association means what is that basic exemption limit, here default tax regime, nothing is mentioned, default only. What is the basic exemption limit, 3 lakh. So association of person or whatever it may be, AJP category or whatever it may be, what is the basic exemption limit, 3 lakh. Now eligible for exemption under section 10 means before claiming exemption under section 10, what is that income, 4,30,000. That is more than what, basic exemption limit. We had to check before claiming this exemption what is the total income. What is that, 4,30,000. Answer is what, yes, required to file the return. So before claiming that exemption under section 10 that exceeds the basic exemption limit, so that's why basic exemption limit under section 115 BAC is nothing but what, 3 lakh. So that is yes, definitely yes, they are required to file the return of income. Before, sir, maybe house property income entirely will exempt under section 10 subsection 23B. But before claiming the exemption, what is the total income? 4,30,000. That only we have to compare with the basic exemption limit of 3 lakh. Okay. D question. Sir, Williams age how many years, 51. He having the salary income 2,40,000 before standard deduction. So, and having that savings deposits 20,000 and the interest on public provident fund is an 68. Remember, here they are not mentioned anything. So that's why he can follow that which regime, under section 115 BEC. Under section 115 BAC, what is the standard deduction, 75,000. Okay. Under normal rates, 50. That is an amendment. You have to remember. Sir, before earlier year, standard deduction is 50,000 under both the regimes. But now, under default tax regime, what is the standard deduction? 75. So normal regime? No. So what is that? Before standard deduction, 2,40,000 means. After standard deduction, what is the salary amount? 1 lakh? Next, is there any other head of income we have, Income from other sources, how much? How much? 20 or 88? Remember, this amount is exempt. Public provident fund related amount is exempt under section 10 subsection 11 or 12 ma. Exemption under section 10, but exemption under section 10 subsection 11. So now if anything is exempt that is included in the total income, will not include ma, will not include. So that's why what is that income from other sources? 20,000. What is that gross total income? 1,85,000. We have to compare the gross total income. But here SSC can get the what? Chapter 6A reduction. Why? He having the savings deposit. That's why what is the chapter 6A reduction he can get ma? 80 TTA he can get. That is nothing but how much ma? Actual amount of interest are 10,000, whichever is lower. Sir, if you remember 80 TTA you can get. So you will get what ma? 10,000. So net total income will be 1,75,000. But we have to compare the GDI or net total income. GDI. That is more than basic exemption limit or less than basic exemption limit ma? 111 BAC basic exemption limit is how much ma? 3 lakh. So now answer is not required to file or required to file? Not required to file. Are you understood ma what I am saying here? Salaries income they are given before standard deduction. After standard deduction how much ma? 1,65,000. Income from other sources related, they are given the yes ma income from bank saving deposits and the public provident fund related interest. Public provident fund related interest will be exempt and this will be taxable under IFOS. Can you tell me how much amount is taxable ma? 20,000. Gross total income is 1,85,000. If any SSC having the savings bank account related interest in their income from other sources, they can get the 80 TTA deduction. So finally, what is the net total income of 1,75,000? But we have to compare which amount with the basic exemption limit. Net total income before giving the effect of chapter 6A deduction means what? Gross total income. Clear? Remember. Huh? Hey, I am saying just ignore. Here in new scheme it is not available. But if you are taking this also, but we have to compare this one only. But in exam they are writing that both the answers. You can take the June 2020, sorry, December 2024 question paper. They are written that same question. They are written that answer in both the alternatives. You can take. Suppose if it is not a 115 BSc, then you can compute till now. But what is the base you have to take ma? 1,85,000. Base for comparison is already 1,85,000. But okay, next ma. Ramcharan Nathan, yes ma, under 115 BSc, chapter 6A reductions are not available. But if they are given it as an, yes ma, if they are given it as an, he opted the old rates. Then what is the basic exemption limit? 2,50,000. But here, up to this you have to show. But comparison always with the what ma? GDA. Gross total income. Next question and last question before break. Public trust hospital having the aggregate annual receipt 505 lakh, availing that exemption, how much amount ma? 3,10,000 with the total income how much ma? 2 lakh. Remember, after exemption this is a total income. Before exemption we have to check, or after exemption? Before exemption. That means total how much you will get? How much ma? Before exemption, what is the total income? 2,40,000 plus 3,10,000. How much you will get? 5,50,000. Now here trust is categorized into AJP. They are not mentioned any regime. You can take that what ma? 115 BAC 3 lakh. That is basic exemption limit is 3 lakh. Your total income before claiming that exemption is how much ma? 5,50,000. Yes, you are required to file the what ma? Return of income. But what is the date ma? So because for trust audit will be there, that's why due date will be 31st October. Are you clear my each and every point? Sir, here in this question, yes, many mistakes you can do. What are that? You can get a confusion about the capital gain. So not required. Already it is included in what ma? Gross total income. Second one, here you have loss. So if you can write some points about the loss return, that is not required. Why? It is a partnership firm. Directly they are required to file the return of income. So association point, basic exemption limit is, remember, under 115 BAC what ma? 3 lakh. If they are following normal, 2 lakh 50,000. Next, here also you have to remember standard deduction under 115 BAC is how much ma? 75,000. Normally how much ra? 50,000. So after claiming the standard deduction, you will get 1,65,000. Income from other sources, they are given the two amounts. One is an exempt under section 10 subsection 11. What is that amount exempt ma? Interest on public provident fund. What is the gross total income? 1,85,000. Answer close ma. We have to compare the gross total income with the basic exemption. If they are asking as a normal rates, yes, you can reduce this also. You have to show. I know chapter 6A reduction chapter also you have to show in this exam. If they are giving it as an what ma? Normal regime, yes, this part also you have to show. It will give nearly half mark. So here 115 BAC. So that's why I'm comparing directly with the what ma? 1,85,000. I'm not taking that any chapter 6A reductions also. Last question, trust related also. Maybe in long run you have to remember under AJP. What is the basic exemption limit ma? 3 lakh or 2.5. Under 115 BAC how much ma? 3 lakh. Normally 2.5. Clear? So tomorrow I will not take any class. Tomorrow there is no DT class. Tomorrow only SFM class will be there. So after lunch you can write that exam. SFM 1 question, 1 MCQ. DT 1 question, 1 MCQ. Hardly within 40 or 30 minutes you can close. So there is no compulsion. If you want to write, yes, you can write. Otherwise, no problem. I will not remember the names of the students who are not written the exam. Who are written that exam, just I will arrange the facilities of correction, etc. If any person not written that exam, surely I will not remember the names. Thank you. Huh? 8 to 1 SFM timings. After lunch break 2:30, you can write that exam and you can take a leave, or you can read till 9 also, no problem for me. You can sit here and you can read till 9 PM also, no problem for me.